In this tutorial, we will write a Java program to find factorial of a number. And if you don't know what a factorial is, let me explain. The factorial of a positive number n is given by factorial of n, and we represent it by factorial, then this exclamation mark. This equals to 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 up to n. So if there is a factorial of 5, then you need to multiply from 1 up to 5 numbers. Okay, so let's take a number from the user. So enter a number. User will enter the number to find the factorial. In order to read the number, we need to import java dot util dot scanner class, and we also need to create its object. So I create scanner equals to reader. Oh, I'm sorry. Scanner reader equals to new scanner system dot in. Okay. This basically is the object of this scanner class, which will help us in reading anything from user. So we create a variable integer n equals to reader dot next int. Okay, now since we have n, we want to calculate factorial. So we will start a for loop, and let's create an integer variable factorial equals to 1 at the start, and we started I equals to 1, and I is less than equals to n, and I plus plus, and over here we multiply factorial by I. Okay, there we go. And outside this loop we print that the factorial of n is factorial. So far so good. Let's run and see if this works out. Say I have factorial up to 4. The factorial up to 4 is 24, which is correct. If you see, 4 factorial equals to 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, and this equals to 2 multiplied by 3 6 multiplied by 4 24. So our answer is correct. Okay, and so what basically we are doing is we have started factorial with 1. Why with 1? Because we are multiplying it by I, so we cannot start it with 0. If we did, multiplying anything with 0 will be 0. So we we started with a 1, and then we started loop will go from 1 up to n number, and every time we are increasing our iterator by 1. So when loop will start, 1 will be multiplied to the factorial will have 1. I will be increased, I will be 2 will be multiplied by the factorial, then 3, then 4 up to the n. Okay, and you can also do the same work using while loop as well. So I have commented for loop. Now let's start while loop. I start my I equals to 1, and we go on while our y is less, or I is less than equals to n, and every time we multiply factorial by I. Okay, so that's it. This will also, we need to increase I by 1, I plus plus. This basically is equals to, this is same as I equals to I plus 1. Okay, this just increases I by 1. That's it. This should work fine. Let's run and see. So I want to find factorial of 5, and the factorial of 5 is 120, which is also correct. Now I want you to show a problem. The problem is, if I run this code, and if I want to find factorial of 100, then I see that the factorial of 100 is 0, and this is not possible. How can the factorial of 100 become 0? So the problem is that we have our factorial variable of integer data type, right? And integer data type cannot store large numbers. Factorial of 100 can be big number, which cannot be stored into our integer data type. So what we do is, let me comment this while loop and we will, I'm sorry, let me comment this while loop and let's use our for loop only. Let me on comment this. So what we do is we basically import a big integer from java.math.big integer. Okay, and we create a factorial variable of big integer data type. So we say big integer factorial equals to big integer dot 1. This will start the factorial with 1, and over here we cannot multiply the factorial like this. For that we'll need to call its built-in function multiply, and we will multiply it by big integer dot value of I. There you go. So this should work. So what we have done is, because integer is a very integer can store some small size of integer numbers, and for big numbers we need to create a variable which can store big numbers. So we have stored imported a big integer from java.math library, and we have initialized our factorial variable of big integer data type by 1, and over here we are just multiplying our factorial by the value of I. Since I is an integer, so we need to convert it into big integer. We can do so by big integer dot value of I. I is integer, so this will basically return a big integer data type of the same value as I, and this will be multiplied by the factorial. So we are doing as exactly what we did in our when we had our integer data type of factorial. We are just we just have changed the big integer the data type. That's it. So let's run and see if we can find the factorial of 100 this time. So program is compiling. Now if I enter 100, you can see this is the factorial of 100. This is such a big number, and that is why it could not be stored in an integer data type. That's why we got the factorial of 100 as 0. But when we have changed the data type from integer to big integer, we have successfully founded the factorial of 100, which is this much big number. So that's it with this tutorial. I hope it helps, and if it does, please subscribe my YouTube channel. And if you need code, you can always check the code of all my tutorials in their video descriptions. So go into the video descriptions and get the code from there, and also don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel.